We're talking with Dave Golikoff, senior sports columnist for AskMen.com, and Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com, previewing the divisional round of the playoffs here on the SBR TV NFL Experts Roundtable. All right, now let's move on to Denver, New England. Let's start with Dave. Now, Dave, last week you called for a win outright by Denver. Great call, but it made a lot of sense to me. I agreed with it. You know, Pittsburgh was a big road favorite. They were kind of banged up. This is a very different situation, of course. Denver is playing New England. New England's off of a bye, and New England is not particularly banged up. They're at home, but it is a 13.5-point spread, so I'm not sure if I would touch New England here. Let's see what you have to say about it. Dave Golikoff.
Oh, Denver's completely done. They're going to get absolutely crushed in this game. Last week was their Super Bowl, and we're actually going to see this a couple of times this weekend. You know, the Houston Texans. Last week was their Super Bowl. Same thing with Denver. For them to even be in the playoffs is a great achievement. For them to win a playoff game as a 9-point underdog. Look at how they celebrated after they won that game. The team couldn't believe that they actually won. That they charged into the end zone, and celebrated with the fans. New England is a professional team. They're not going to take Denver lightly. Not to say that Pittsburgh did, but New England 2 weeks to prepare for a Denver team that they already smoked once this year, and it could be even worse. Now, the one reason why I believe New England is not going to take their foot off the gas in this game is because of how they've played in their last two home playoff openers.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Baltimore. They've lost two straight home playoff openers, just really shoddy performances. This is an important game to them. It's a statement game, and they're going to really run up the score to make a point that they're ready for a Super Bowl run. So I like New England minus the points. I don't think this game's close at all.
All right, minus 13.5 points. That is a lot of points, but you make a compelling case. Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com. Do you think that Denver's done because last week there's Super Bowl and now they're just going to mail it in?
Well, I thought they were done last week, Peter. So. I think they're done. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion in this game. I make the number maybe 10 or so just based on different stats I look at. But the bottom line here is New England, last week, first of all, in the Denver game, it looks like the Ryan Clark, him being out, and then obviously the Steelers lost some guys in that game. That certainly had an effect on the Steelers. You're not going to see that same effect with New England. Pittsburgh obviously got into some wrong defensive packages last week, and Denver obviously burned him on that. I don't see New England allowing that to happen again. New England's going to score their points, and they're going to get into the 30s, I think, at bare minimum in this game. So it really comes down to, can Denver score enough points to cover this number? Who knows? I mean, I never expected Tebow to do what he did last week. And,
right.
The one thing I will say, I had Denver in that first game against New England, and obviously was wrong in that. I've been pretty good with them since Tebow started. I think I'm 5-2 on or against them. But in that first meeting with New England, as Dave said, they were up 17-6. What really turned that game around for them were turnovers. So I suppose if Tebow plays mistake-free in this game, maybe because New England's defense isn't real strong, maybe they can score some points. But the only way I would look in this game is New England or nothing, and I'm not really interested in laying 13.5 points, so I'm not going to be on the game. But the only way I would look would be New England or nothing.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. And maybe once again, New England team total over.